All right, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. This is Dr. Ephraim. Today's date is December 11th, 2022. And if you listen to the sound of my voice, that means you were blessed to see yet another day. And for that, all praise, honor, and glory is due to the Most High God of Israel, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All right, welcome everyone, all my new subscribers and old alike. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and select the notification bell and click all, so that way you'll be notified every time I upload a new presentation. And again, let's not rely totally on YouTube to be notified of my videos, because I do them every day. So I want to thank you all for continuing to comment and like and subscribe. And let's continue to do that as we keep it moving with the channel and getting the viewership, keeping the viewership up and getting it up and getting past this whole algorithm thing. All right, today, man, I'm going to talk about something that's very, very interesting. Um, I've kind of covered it here and there on the channel over the years. One of the things I like about talking, about like things with the Bible and being a creationist, right? And I've covered Neanderthals and dinosaurs existing, this and that, and me and a brother was kind of going back and forth building a couple weeks ago. I haven't seen him in a while. He goes by the username X, and he has a hood as his picture. But anyway, we was kind of inspired me. Something we was talking about kind of inspired me today, and something I said to him that kind of really sparked me. And I said, well, the thing about I don't really care about how old the earth is and carbon dating this and carbon dating that. And, because the reality is when the Bible says in the beginning, we don't know when that is. like we can conjecture, we can debate, talk about it, all this and that. And it's interesting. It really is, but the reality is we don't know when in the beginning starts actually. Right. But what we do know is that we do have the Neanderthals walk the earth. We have their fossils and bones. Okay, it'd be kind of idiotic to claim that they don't. We know that dinosaurs roam the earth, right? Again, we have fossils, and we have proof, archaeological and geological proof that they existed, right? So, and I say that to say that you all know me. I'm a creationist. God created man. Adam, Eve. That whole, yeah. I'm a creationist. But when I say I'm not a hardcore creationist, what I mean by that is that I don't say things like, oh well, the dinosaurs didn't exist, or just something that's kind of just really provably false, right? So anyway, what I want to do is, because there are two very powerful creatures described, one by the Most High in first person, Behemoth, in the Bible, right? And these two animals are like no animals that we know of. That's for a fact. So my thing is, could they have been dinosaurs? Like, I mean, really? And I'm not trying to imply that they were, whatever the case may be, but it's just something really to think about and talk about, because these animals or creatures, whatever you want to call them, they were never identified, but they're described as something like I said, we've never seen. And I don't know of any animal that's ever existed in our time that looked like these animals. And we're going to get into that. Leviathan and Behemoth. I've never heard anyone do a lesson or deal with that from the Bible, but we're going to kind of take a stab at it today. Like I said, I'm not trying to imply anything, or I don't believe that they were dinosaurs. The truth is we don't know what the heck they were or what they weren't. We just know that I just know personally that they were like something we've never seen. But these animals slash creatures, whatever you want to call them, are explicitly described in the Bible, and even the Most High Himself in first person is telling you He created Behemoth and so forth. So I think we can, as a matter of principle, we can logically conclude that these two creatures, animals, whatever you want to call them, are not mythical, Because if they were mythical, the Most High doesn't deal in myth. He doesn't deal in magic, right? Like he's telling you himself he created Behemoth. So no, we can throw that out of the window as far as people claiming that these Leviathan and Behemoth were mythical creatures, meaning they didn't really exist. No, we can throw that out of the window as creationists and as believers, because the Most High himself is telling us he created them. So anyway, um, it's very interesting. Like I said, I don't believe either way what it is, whatever. But let's talk about it. Let's see what in the heck Behemoth and this Leviathan that's never talked about. What were they, and how come they were never identified? We may never know that. But anyway, let's have some fun and talk about it. Let's get it. All right, let's start with the book of Job 40 and 15. Matter of fact, no, let's start at verse 12. Book of Job 40 and 12. We're going to end up at 18, actually. So the book of Job, starting at chapter 40, verse 12. Look on everyone that is proud and bring him low, and tread down the wicked in their place. Hide them in the dust together and bind their faces in secret. Now, this is the Most High talking in first person now, all right? Then will I also confess unto the tree that thine own right hand can save thee. Behold now Behemoth, which I made with thee. He eateth grass as an ox. Lo now, his strength is in his loins, and his force is the navel of his belly. He moveth his tail like a cedar. The sinews of his stones are wrapped together. His bones are as strong pieces of brass. His bones are like bars of iron. Now, those metaphors aside, I've read and people said that he's probably describing a hippopotamus, right? Because that's the closest thing that we have that we know of that would kind of fit, even somewhat fit that description. But here's the thing, man: hippopotamuses don't have tails, and it says explicitly that his tail, right? He moved with his tail like a cedar, which is like a very thick, long, strong piece of like wood, I don't know of any hippopotamuses that have tails like that. So, but anyway, I've seen that a few times, and people thought he was talking about a hippopotamus, because that's the closest thing we can think of, that comes close to to what he's describing, looks like that we know of, right? So goes on to say that Behemoth is a beast from the biblical book of Job. Excuse me. In the form of the primeval chaos monster created by the Most High God at the beginning of creation. He is paired with the other chaos monster, Leviathan, which is a big sea creature. We'll get into Leviathan in a little bit. And according to later Jewish tradition, both would become food for the righteous at the end time. Metaphorically, the name has come to be used for any extremely large or powerful entity, especially Leviathan. Okay, now the biblical description of Behemoth. Behemoth is mentioned in a speech from the mouth of God in chapter 40, book of Job. I just read a couple scriptures from that. A primeval creature created by Ahaya, and so powerful that only God can overcome him. Now, let's stop there real quick. Only God can overcome him? Well, last I checked, as big and as strong as hippopotamuses are, as humans, we could overcome them. I mean, the only thing I know for a fact we as humans would have problems and issues with capturing and conquering, or whatever the case may be, would have to be something like a dinosaur, because, like, realistically, right, there's no animal that's alive that we know of that we can't capture or kill, right? Now imagine like some of those different types of dinosaurs back in the day or whatever. If you imagine our little guns going up against something like that, ain't no way, man. Ain't no way. I mean, if you think about it, man, dinosaurs could not exist in our time because, number one, we couldn't control them. We couldn't. Like, I mean, let's be real. And we couldn't conquer them. That would have to be a movement of God to get rid of those types of animals on this earth, because we as men couldn't control them. I know for a fact we couldn't. Well, I won't say no for a fact, but I believe in my heart that if dinosaurs were in our time, there's no way we could what's the word? Live with them, basically. Right? There's no way, man. I mean, there's no way. So anyway, let's go on, continue on with Behemoth. Behemoth, which I made as I made you. He eats grass like an ox. Behold, his strength in his loins, and his power, the muscles of his belly. His bones are tools of bronze. His limbs are like bars of iron. He is the first of the works of God. Huh? Let him who made him bring near his sword. For the mountains yield food for him, where all the wild beasts play. Under the lotus plants he lies, in the shelter of the reeds and in the marsh. For his shade, the lotus trees cover him. The willows of the brook surround him. Behold, if the river is turbulent, he is not frightened. He is confident, though Jordan rushes against his mouth. Can one take him by his eyes or pierce his nose with a snare? The passage pairs Behemoth with the sea monster Leviathan, both creatures with an enormous strength which humans like Job could not hope to control, yet both reduced. Wait. That line again, it stands out to me. That said, these two animals, creatures, whatever you want to call them, have such size and strength humans like Job could not hope to control. And again, I say to you, my people, what animal alive today that we can't control? I don't care if it's a hippopotamus, an elephant, a lion, tiger. I mean, all the animals that we know of. I mean, we can control them, right? I mean, so it would have to be something that something we've never seen in terms of walking this earth as a creation of the Most High God that we as men cannot control. And the Most High even said, "Can your snare snag him, or can you pierce his nose with a snare?" Right? He's asking, like, listen, man, yeah, for all the hype men have about each other and our arrogance and what we can do, what we can't do, and science and all that. Now, there's things, and in existence, man, that was not meant for our consumption, that was not meant for us to kind of figure out. All these things. Remember, the Bible says the wisdom of man is foolishness to God. Like, come on now, right? So now that's Behemoth. Now y'all can, you can have some fun with it. There's no right or wrong, thing with it. What do y'all think this being is? Could it be a dinosaur? I mean, what else could it be? I mean, we've never seen an animal like Behemoth that the Most High is describing. So what else could it be, man? I mean, seriously. Like, and I'm not sold on it that it was a dinosaur, but I'm just saying they always tell, oh, the Bible doesn't talk about dinosaurs. Well, what the heck is Behemoth then? I mean, I'm just saying, just put it out there. Let's talk about it. All right, so let's see what's up with this Leviathan. Now, Leviathan is a big sea serpent, but again, it seems mythical because it almost seems like the Leviathan is described as like some big dragon, like it's breathing fire and all that. They're like, wait a minute, what the heck? And I mean, this is in the Bible, so like I said, we can throw out the fact that this is not mythical. This creature, this Leviathan, walked this earth because it's in the Bible. We can't ignore that or brush that off, right? We have to deal with it. And we know, and the Most High in first person said He created Behemoth, so we passed that, right? Now they say that it's referenced in several books of the Hebrew Bible, including Psalms, the book of Job, the book of Isaiah, and the book of Amos, right? And according to some translations, in the book of Jonah. It is also mentioned in the book of Enoch. The Leviathan is often an embodiment of chaos and threatening to eat the damned after the life, and in the end, it is annihilated, right? Now Christian theologians identify Leviathan with the demon of the deadly sin, envy, right? The Leviathan of the book of Job is a reflection of the older Canaanite Lotan, a primeval monster defeated by the god Baal Hadad, parallels the role of the Mesopotamian Tiamat, defeated by Marduk, have long been drawn in comparative mythology. Yeah, we ain't dealing in mythology. Yeah, enough of that. Now let's see here. The Leviathan specifically is mentioned in 6 times in the Tanakh. In Job 3 and 8, Job 40:15, 41:26, Psalm 74 and 14, Psalm 104 and 26, and in Isaiah 27 and 1, Job 41, 1 through 34, is dedicated to describing him in detail. This is Leviathan. Those scriptures and verses I just gave y'all describes Leviathan in detail. Quote, behold, the hope of him is in vain. Shall not one be cast down even at the sight of him? Included in God's lengthy description of his indomitable creation is Leviathan's fire-breathing ability. What animal y'all know and walking the earth breathes fire? I'm just saying. His impenetrable scales and his overall indomitability. In Job 41 and Psalm 104, God is praised for having made all things, including Leviathan. And in Isaiah 27:1, he is called the torturous serpent who will be killed at the end of time. Now, again, I ask y'all, my people, like I said, we just having some fun with this, talking about it, right? We know these creatures existed, but what animal do y'all know of breathes fire? Literal fire. I don't want to hear no figurative fire. I'm talking about breathe fire. You know what I'm talking about? Like real fire. Right? So anyway, let's see here. To Behemoth, man, we went through that. Leviathan, yep. Unlike Behemoth, Leviathan is mentioned elsewhere in Scripture. I went over that. Psalm 74 and 14 refers to the heads of Leviathan, implying a multi-headed beast. Wow. We know we ain't seen no multi-headed nothing walking around no earth. And don't even play with us like that now. Like, I'm serious. And that's me. Yeah, I pretty much went through all of that. So we can throw out myth. We can throw out all those little fancy words that refers to these creatures as not being real. No, we have to accept that they're real. Because they're in the Bible and the Most High Himself explicitly identifies and talks about them. So that being said, I thought this would be a very interesting and intriguing subject to just kind of talk about. Are these, is Behemoth, is that a dinosaur, right? Like, and like I said, we really don't know, because we are thinking that dinosaurs were extinct before man came. Was it? Right? Like everything about the time and the earth, it's all conjecture. It's all guess. We don't know, right? Because when the Bible tells us as creationists in the beginning, like I said, we truthfully don't know when in the beginning starts. So this being that the Most High God Behemoth is describing, who and what is that? What could it like realistically be? We have to concede that it did exist, because he himself is describing it, and he seems pretty proud of it. But he's describing something we've never seen. Not the people who look like me and you. We've never seen nothing like that. And I don't want to hear this hippopotamus talk. If hippopotamus is the best you can do, yeah. Next. So let's talk about it. Give me your thoughts in the comment section. What do you all think Behemoth and Leviathan are? Are they animals and creatures like we've never seen, or are they? Could Behemoth be a dinosaur? Could it be, right? Or is that just kind of what else could he be? Anyway, let's talk about it. Like I say, no right or wrong answer, or a little hypothesis, whatever the case may be. Let's have a little fun, man. All right. Hope y'all enjoyed the lesson. This Dr. Ephraim signing off, saying until next time, Shalom, elect.